Hey everybody, Riot Mort here, back with the patch 1310 rundown. This is the second to last patch of Monsters Attack. We're nearing the end, and it's time to talk about what changes you can expect on Wednesday. Now, the good news is the meta is in a really good spot. The game is very well balanced at this point, which usually tends to happen near the end of a set. But this is really good news as we head into a lot of regions having their regional competitions, as well as we'll have the championship coming up on May 26th to 28th. So definitely make sure you check that out. Because of all this, because the meta's in a good spot, because we've got a lot of competition coming up, we're not going to be changing a ton. There's just going to be a few changes because, you know, on the TFT team, we tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. So a couple micro adjustments here and there. But yeah, so let's jump right into it and see what we can get through this. All right, first up, the normals with portals, the for fun mechanic. The portals are getting more intense. This is going to keep happening each patch, and so now the odds of seeing a portal on 2-6, 100%. The 3-3 ones, those are the big impactful ones, much higher at 30%. And 4-3 at 75%. So if you're into that for fun thing, a lot more portals going to be happening. Give it a try. Remember, this is a bit of a teaser for our next set. Can't wait to talk to you about what this is all about. But for now, this will have to do. All right, on the trait side, 4-Ace. 4-Ace is a pretty hard thing to get going. It has, you know, a 2 cost, 2 4 costs, and a 5 cost. It's underperforming, and, you know, for how difficult it is to hit. And we want to be very gentle here, very microscopic changes. So we're buffing the execute threshold from 30% to 33%, meaning if you can pull off a 4-Ace comp, the payoff will be just a little bit bigger, and go from there. All right, Anima Squad. Anima Squad, we're pretty happy with where it is. When it reaches its peak, if you get a lot of stacks going, it can do very well, especially true at lower elos, but honestly, even at high elo, we're seeing games where Anima Squad can be played. However, in the early game, it's pretty difficult to play, and 3 Anima is almost never worth playing, so we're buffing 3 Anima from 10 to 15 AD and AP, to make sure that they can ease into the early game a little bit more. Helps the sort of Nasus, Silas, Jinx start get going, so that you can reach that late game Anima fantasy. All right, Gadgettine. Gadgettine continues to be a bit of a struggle here. You know, we've disabled the augment till 4-2, things like that. Its cap is still really high, and the power of a Gadgettine emblem is still really strong, giving you 27% extra damage and 27% less damage taken. So we're reducing that by 1%, so 3% total. Yeah, so that'll go to 24. But this lowers the cap on Gadgettine a little, so we can make sure that that's in the right place. Should still be desirable, should still be a very powerful thing. And if you can get it out of a Tome of Traits on 2-1, you'll be in a good spot. All right, on the champion side, Pantheon is actually kind of the best opener and leads to some really powerful positions. And we're okay with that. A 2-star Pantheon can be quite good. It's just dishing out a bit too much damage. And so we're going to reduce that very little here. You can see it's not even 5%. So small adjustment to Pantheon to make sure he's not quite the dominant 1-cost opener. Draven, underperforming. We're just going to let him cast his spell a little bit more often. This is obviously going to help mech Draven. You know, has that Bloodthirster, cast a spell, get a little bit of extra health. So yeah, small buff to Draven. And then Jax. This one is really probably the only remotely spicy change this patch, because Jax in our data in most of the world just doesn't really perform. He's really narrow. You need, you know, the right items, the right setup, the right augments, and then Jax can perform very well. But we are also seeing Hacker Jax do really well in China, for example. So this is going to be a small buff to make sure he can just have a little bit more base damage. But hopefully it doesn't swing things too hard that we all of a sudden see a Jax championship. I'm pretty skeptical that this small of a change will cause that, but something to keep an eye on. It's always, you know, concerning when you see a comp win at regionals and then you're buffing a little bit, but hopefully this should make it less narrow without raising its ceiling too much, because again, this is only the base damage. It's not even the stacking damage. On the augment side, Double Trouble is a very fun augment. It opens up new ways to play that you normally don't do, It allows you to, you know, play comps that have never been seen before. But right now, both versions of it, Double Trouble 2 and 3, are underperforming. So they're getting a 10% buff to the additional stats they give. That should help them out. Neela Support Augment. This is an augment that's supposed to be really good for duelists, giving 5 of the duelists CC immunity for the whole fight. Continues to underperform, so we're going to make it 6. This puts it really close to Verdant Veil, which means it's almost a prismatic level power. So hopefully this helps this augment be more playable in the duelist comp and can do well. And that's basically it on the balance side. Like I said, very small patch, not trying to change a lot. But we have one other big thing coming, which is Treasure Realms. Treasure Realms are our new system for cosmetics that is replacing eggs. You can use treasure tokens, and you can use them on a Treasure Realm bounty. This means you can save tokens after you hit your desired item. You're not stuck with eggs you may not want. Tokens can be purchased in quantities for some RP. And then the first bounty is the Mecha Prime 0, and it's available from patch 13.10 to 13.12. There's an article you can click on, not through this video obviously, but you know, everywhere else there's an article you can read about it. And there's also going to be a very detailed version coming in the patch notes. So to give you a little bit of preview what it looks like here, once you open them up on this menu, you get this cool little ceremony. And if you've gotten lucky to hit that, you get to see that, bam, you get the Mecha Prime 0 map, which is the cool new map. And yeah, and then all the little legends that you would get from that as well. So definitely check out Treasure Realms here. And there's even a cool video if you want to check out what the Mecha Prime map looks like. That's on YouTube on the official channel. So check that out. Finally, we have bug fixes. There's a couple small bugs we want to get fixed. First off, we fixed a bug where Aatrox's second spell wasn't buffed like we intended, only the first one was. So this is just going to allow Aatrox to do the damage we intended. Very small damage buff, I doubt it's going to change much, and we intended to do it last patch anyway. We fixed an issue where Ezreal would cast his spell twice if he killed a target within melee range. So that bug is fixed. Might affect that build if you're playing, you know, the hacker Ezreal version. I doubt that's going to be as popular at the championship. We fixed a bug that caused Pyke to stun enemies through Quicksilver. And then we also fixed a bug where certain champions would crit with their abilities less than the intended amount with Infinity Edge or Jeweled Gauntlet. This affected 3 champions, Samira, Kayle, and Lucian, when we dug through. So this should be fixed, and those 3 champions should now work properly with those items. And that's it. Like I said, 13.10, fairly small patch, nothing too crazy going on here. So that's, like I said, we're almost at the end of Monsters Attack. 13.11 will be the last patch. We always like to keep at least one surprise for you here, so expect a small surprise in 13.11, as well as, you know, any balance adjustments, so that people who are trying to end their season on a high note, maybe reach a new rank, you can still do that and have fun. The normals with portals will intensify as well. And then we've got news on the next set, which I can't wait to talk about. There's so much to look forward to. We're almost there. So, all right, that's going to do it for me. It's a short one today, small patch. Again, don't forget to watch the championship May 26th to 28th. Best players battling it out to see who really is the best TFT player in Monsters Attack. All right, that's going to do it for me. Until next time, take it easy.